how are you enjoying your time at the MARC conference so far?
I think it's great. I love what everyone's doing, and celebrating leadership I think is super important, so I'm proud to be a part of it.
So what was it that inspired you to get involved? I know you've been involved in so many things so far.
Yeah, well, I really love millennials. You know, millennials are sort of this age group that I feel like a lot of time gets a bad reputation for being, I don't know, maybe apathetic or a bit entitled, but I really believe in the generation, and I think that we are a group of people that are full of really wonderful sort of creators and dreamers and doers, and I just think we're sort of misunderstood. And so any opportunity to come out and to be a part of a conference that is all about sort of millennials and leadership and the future of all of that is really important to me, and I'm really happy to be here doing that.
What's your favorite of all the projects you've worked on? Do you have one?
Oh my gosh, my favorite project that I've worked on, you know, I have so many projects that I really love. I would say that the most transformative project I've ever worked on is I worked with Seth Godin as part of the Domino Project, and I was the managing editor there. And I think that probably changed the entire trajectory of my career, working with Seth and being a part of something that, I don't know, I think that was so different and so innovative, sort of changed my outlook and changed what I was interested in. And so I don't know if that's my favorite. It's one of my favorites, but it's certainly the most transformative and probably the most special.
All right, so I looked on your website and I noticed that you tried to franchise your lemonade stand as a child. So, I mean, I had a lemonade stand, but I never thought to kind of make it a big thing. So what kind of made you want to do that? What
a question. So, so yeah, as a child, I tried to franchise my lemonade stand. I would take lemon juice and water. We had a really nice juicer, so and a lot of kids didn't. So I would take the juice from the juicer and I would try to sell it to kids in different neighborhoods. I wouldn't do it in my neighborhood because I felt like that was too much competition, but I'd go to the neighborhoods around me and I would sell them lemon juice and sugar. Didn't go over very well. I don't know, I think I was always a very type A, energetic child that was always looking for things to do. And so I also had a newspaper, or not a newspaper, a newsletter, I guess you could say, that I started, and the only reason I started that newsletter was to put ads in for my lemonade stand. So the content was terrible. It was just a bunch of like product placement. That didn't go well either. I learned a lot of lessons with that one. But I've always been really interested in creation and building things, and I love business and have from a very young age, so that's sort of, I think, what that was.
That's awesome, getting started so young and
in
really
some
seeing it through, not the lemonade stand, but...
Yeah, I mean, I had a different career before I started in entrepreneurship and media. I only got involved in this world 5 years ago. For most of my life, I was an actor, which a lot of people don't know, 20 years, that's why I came to New York, and switched when I was 23 or 24. So, but I think at my root, I've always been an entrepreneur.
What is one piece of advice you have for students who want to leave their mark on their university and their community?
That's a great question. So I think that perhaps the best piece of advice I have for students who are looking to leave their mark is to not be afraid of changing things up, to not be afraid of going in a different direction than you never thought possible. If you had asked me when I was in college what my career would look like, what I would be doing with my life, I would never have told you that it is what it is today. I would never have guessed it. I would never have wanted it. It was completely different than what I was going after in college. And I think that so many people get stuck in this idea that just because you major in something, just because you've done something your whole life, that you should continue to do it. And I don't think that's always right. I think that we live in a constantly evolving society, and it's so important that we recognize that we are all fluid creatures and that one thing leads to the next and they may not align, and that's okay. So I think it's about, you know, getting rid of that fear of switching things up, of changing things up, of doing something that nobody would expect, and, you know, going with where your heart is, going with what your passion is and where your skills are and where your efforts are.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
What are your plans going forward?
To rule the world, to have an empire? No.
All right.
Don't put that on camera. What are my plans going forward? I think I have a lot of plans. I really love media and I really love business, and I go back and forth with sort of running a business and being involved in media in some way or the other. So I think my plans are to continue working on the business that I've already built, to continue speaking. I have a book coming out. I should promote that, I guess, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, I just finished the book and it will be out in May. So to work hard, and I just hired some interns and we're all getting together and working on the book, and to get that book out there and to continue to do stuff like this and to work with all of you.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
doing this interview.
Thanks for having me.
And for being here.
Yep.
So hope
Cool.
you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.